Can't wait to see you and smoke more weed. What's that you got there, a blunt for me? Fuck it, I'm lucky, I love you too. Let's see you all drop some new stuff too. What's there a Sunday on a Sunday cruise? Doing reviews for hair next skew. Smoking the fire and we hella blitz. I got my paws on shit nobody gets. Outstanding buds like they came from the drip. Throwing some primo, I'm top of the tip. Never am stiff, I love the community. At an event talking like it's just you and me. Culture and industry making its history. We are just happy to be here and getting so lit. You know what we smoking on, light it up a telebond, flexing with the super strong, puffing like a smoking stone.
And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie,
and we are the Gateway Drug to Mindfulness. And today, dun, 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 dun,
our next guest is one of Toronto's brightest young comics. He was named an International Roast Battle All-Star and made his Just for Laughs Toronto debut just last year. Please welcome Hershawn Arora.
Hey!
You guys have this so on point. It's crazy. I was not expecting that much choreography and coordination amongst that intro. That was amazing, yo. Thanks for having me.
Bless,
Oh
man.
gosh.
Thanks for being here. Dude,
That was so cool.
You ever see something so true that you couldn't unsee it? Something that you just knew would serve you. Whether it be self-awareness, plant medicine, a lover, a career. That's what we get down to here. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness. Spark up or don't, and enjoy the show. Glad you're here.
you're a funny guy.
Thanks, man.
You have fantastic stand-up comedy, but also just as a dude, it's hilarious. How's your life?
It's good, man. Thank you guys. This is dope. Okay, before we start, can we address what happened earlier today? Like, I'm just so eager to get it off my chest, you know?
We must.
Can you please bless us with this hilarious story that shows my privilege in this relationship for this production?
For the listeners, so basically it's like 6:15 right now, okay? I was supposed to be here at 6:30, and then I found out that I'm going to be doing a show later, so I texted Winnie, and I said, hey, can I come by a little bit earlier? Before I texted Winnie, I messaged the page, and I said, hey, is it okay if I come by, you know, a different time, whatever, and then I explained the situation.
It's around 1:30. I'm just waking up.
Yeah. It's a crucial part of the story. So Winnie gets back to me. She's like, yeah, no problem. We could have you come in earlier. No problem. I was like, thank you so much for being understanding. I appreciate it. I'll see you then. 3 minutes later, Ellevan responds on the Instagram page like, no, man, what the fuck you think this is? You think this is some kind of amateur bullshit? Nah, we got stage time, studio time locked down. If you don't want it, don't come. We got other people lined up.
So good.
And I was like, yo, what? Like, I'm so confused right now because I had just got a very respectable conversation with Winnie, and then he's messaging me like I just told him like I'm gonna come for his life.
So good.
And I know, I obviously I know it's not Winnie. I know it's Ellevan doing. I'm okay, thank you. I know it's him responding, but it just was so off character for you because I know you as a person. You're a very bubbly, warm, loving guy. For some reason, I was like, yo, is he at gunpoint right now? Like, why is he so angry at me?
I was not angry. I was just like, yo, so for reference, I had no idea the context of when this time was going to happen. The message I woke up and read was, I got a set at 8. Can I do the pod after? I'm like, nah, homie, I can't wait around that long.
I got shit to do today.
I was just like, it's all good. We can scrap it if it's too much. Like, we'll figure out another time. I'm just like, let's move on from this. But when he was like, oh, heavens no. Like, stop communicating on our behalf about scheduling.
Okay, so I'll insert myself here now because I had also received our cordial conversation.
And I had no
then I
idea.
put my phone away, put my helmet on, and went for a bike ride from my place of work back to our home before we came here. And it was about a 15-minute bike
I'm going to
ride.
put the screenshot here.
Yeah, 15-minute bike ride. And then
Within that 15 minutes, so much happened.
Yeah. When I get off of my bike and start walking towards my home, which is like maybe 3-minute walk from the city bike station, I open my text and it's Ellevan being like, oh, Hershawn needs to change the time. We're not going to do it with him today. It's totally fine. I'll let him know.
Yeah, and I'm very casual about this.
Yeah.
I think they think I'm more upset than I am. I'm just like, okay, let's keep it moving.
And I like started capsing. I caps locked him back afterwards. I was like, hard stop. Don't have anything to do with schedule. Like, we've discussed this so much. Like, I am the schedule person. You are a lot, and you're very, like, a big...
You are a lot.
I shouldn't handle details because I'm too much of a cartoon. So anything outside of the original plan, and this guy was just like low-key chirping me back, like, okay, because I had no idea when he wanted to change the times too. So it wasn't like a clear message of like, can we start at 9 p.m., which is what I thought you were asking, because I was like, nah, like that's just too long to just wait around between. Like if we had it scheduled, I have no idea who's coming first. Peter came
Here's
first.
the thing.
I love
Here's
this
my taking
misunderstanding.
away from this, okay?
I should not.
In the original
share.
email, I should have said, only contact me via my text message, okay? That's an addition that's going in the original email.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad I can help.
And then on the other side of that
workshopping that.
is, do you know the slide mark as unread portion of Instagram?
Yes.
Do you know you can mark as unread? So that's what we're going to start doing with this little guy.
Because we co-manage it.
Yeah, we co-manage
Well,
it so
I'm
things
on
get
there
lost.
when he manages it.
I love how you were like,
I was like, let's just move on.
no, but I get it. But you responded to me, and you're like, "Nah, man, like, no, that's too much. We can't do that. We got a tight ship here." And then you're also like, within the same 20 seconds period, you're like, "I also don't know what time we're supposed to start, and I just woke up." And I'm like, "Yo,
Yes.
you don't seem like the guy."
He sees right through me. That's fabulous.
And then the best part was, like, as soon as he realized, like, he contacted you, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
he sends me a video. And he's like, "Hey, man, listen, man, you know how it is. We're boys, right? It's all love, homie."
Love that.
Oh, that was a
Yeah.
great start
That-
to your day.
That's yeah, and also we're just not checking our DMs like an hour before we wake up. Do you check your phone in the morning?
No, I try to stay away from checking like DMs and stuff
Yeah.
until like at least lunch if possible.
That's great.
Sometimes not possible. If there's something pressing, then I'm like, oh, I have to open this. But otherwise, I'm like, nah, no social media first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with your ability to be perceptive enough to read my hostility.
It was just off for your energy because I know you. I've done a move with you. Like I've been with you outside of comedy for periods of time where I'm like, this does not sound like he's in the right state of mind.
His morning grumpiness
Yeah, I
is
was like,
still at
yo.
bay.
I was like,
That's
yo.
so funny. I thought I was creative cloaking that in creativity, but I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that you're here. That was pretty hilarious.
That was a
I'm
good
glad
start.
that you've now met a portion of me that I guess is more spicy than I realize I'm letting on most times. I don't want to mull over either your hurtness or my reactivity. I think it's my role in this podcast to explore that. Because I do struggle from aggression issues. And before I realize what I've said or how I've made someone feel, I often have just forgiven myself and moved on. Because that's what I was going to do anyway. Like a part of me is I'm being kind of like casual, like my phone's being used, but I would pull it up and say, I think I'm doing you a favor by being brief and casual and freeing you from the pressure of prioritizing my engagement. And I do the same thing with I mean, it is a personal relationship. Everyone that you interact with is a personal relationship. But I've done that also with friendships. I think that's funny. That's an interesting thing to address. I appreciate the opportunity to take a look at that mindfully.
Buddy, I never would have guessed you had aggression issues. You're the fucking nicest guy.
Thank you,
I've
man.
ever met.
That is music to my fucking
Never.
ears. No, it's an improvement that it's only typing. It used to be verbal, and then before verbal, it was physical. And it was just a monster.
Can I ask, at that point in your life, was cannabis an influence?
I've gotten better since smoked more weed.
Yeah.
I'm more sensitive.
That makes a lot of sense, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you like, I don't know if you guys are open to talking about this.
Yes.
Were you on like other substances at the time?
Just alcohol.
Okay.
You know, I think that's very a volatile thing.
Yeah. Alcohol and aggression go hand in hand for sure.
You know, and I feel like the opportunity to be self-reflective came from cannabis.
100%, man.
Yeah, and
Dude, you can't get out of it now. Every fucking sentence out of your mouth is a self-reflection.
I know, it's nice, and I appreciate that. And like, it's so funny in our interaction today. It's like you're someone that I value and like, and like want to create a good relationship with, and that's how I treated you.
Thanks, man.
Can you imagine how I am to people that I don't care about? Like,
It does
it's
take a person of some type of quick understanding, not taking things personally, and
you're
ability
special.
to move forward.
You can
to,
survive
like,
a relationship with me.
Welcome, you're stuck now.
You're fucked now. No, but I appreciate that. But no, that's cool because there must be even lower standards for me in those moments. But I do try and find compassion in most situations. I think in my brief interaction with you was, if there's a flicker of doubt that you shouldn't do the stand-up thing tonight, fuck that. Like, we can reschedule this. Like, that's truly underneath whatever emotional reaction came out the way it came out. At the core of it.
That's what he explained in his video to me.
I was like, you should know that like, no matter what, you should prioritize that stage time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think you're a good comedian. Like, I know of you because being a comedian. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, if I got on Absolute tonight, I would have been
she
leaving
would go
early
too.
too.
Yeah. It's and between us. We can have like a date plan, and it's like, oh, I got a spot, and it's like, do it. Fuck you, but do it.
That's how it is, for sure, for sure.
So
I think,
it's all respect, really, but
yeah,
for
no,
sure.
it is. It's all love. Thank you guys for accommodating me. This is dope. And I agree, as a stand-up, where we are kind of psycho in that way, where our lives kind of revolve around, oh, I got 7 minutes here, fuck the rest of my day. I don't, like,
don't doubt it for a second. Don't doubt it for a second.
Yeah.
Go do that spot.
And, no, I'm sure you have to. But it's just, I think I really appreciate people who put up with us, because our lives are not normal.
Facts.
you
Jobs and shit. Like,
know? Jobs who are accommodating, partners,
Relationships,
family members,
yeah.
friends who are like, oh yeah, you can't come to my birthday because you're doing 3 shows. Fuck you, man.
Big facts.
It's like, yeah, I'll
Big
come after,
facts.
when everyone's drunk already, I'll be there, like, it's shit like that. But
big facts.
it is when you have people in your life who can really understand what you're trying to accomplish, and they're there for you, that's special.
How long have you been doing stand-up?
What is today? January 20. It's like almost 6 years. In like 2 weeks, it'll be 6 years.
Fuck, man, you're good.
Thanks, yo. You're pretty good too.
I'm new. I'm humbled,
many years have you
humbled
been
to the
doing
fact
stand-up?
that I'm new. I'm just in 2 years in.
2 years.
Yeah.
Good for 2 years.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think that like your crowd work is really good. Yeah, you like kombucha.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
Dude, this is my first time having kombucha. I got into the podcast studio today, and they're like, yeah, we got like ice cream, coffee, kombucha. I was like, I've never had kombucha. Am I gonna shit myself? He's like, nah, no, trust me, you're good. And
is that what you thought about when
yes.
you thought? Who made you think that?
I just, I know there's like probiotics in this, there's bacteria in this, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, if it's my first time and I'm not used to it, and I would hate to just, cut the podcast even shorter than I already have today. But this is delicious, absolutely.
Isn't it
delicious.
great? Yeah, that's fun.
I got the great
Got another
flavor.
one.
Another convert.
Have you always been good at crowd work, or is this something that you're coming into after 6 years?
Define good, because I remember.
Sustainably undeniable. You can
No.
give you a mic and fuck with people like you can now. Was
No.
that natural?
I mean, I
Or
might have had an
development.
inclination towards it, but definitely not always at this level. And I honestly, I don't even want to boost myself up and say that I'm that good. Like, I think I'm decent, but I obviously have a long way to go still. But if you were to talk to me when I had first started, no, of course you would see the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, What's going on in your head when you're doing that? Because that's always fun, I think, for people to understand. You're basically freestyling.
It is. It's 100%. And if anyone tells you anything else, then they're not doing crowd work properly. At least in my mind. Like
It's a little freestyle.
You have to really have no agenda when you're doing crowd work. A lot of people, they go into crowd work and they're like, oh, okay, I have a pre-existing idea of what this person's life is like or what they do, and I'm going to try to implant my joke into this. Whereas realistically, you just kind of ask them with no agenda, nothing in your mind, hey, how do you know the person next to you? Yes. And then based on what they say, you kind of create your own narrative and you find your punchlines within that. But it can't be like, oh, I'm going to try to do my white people joke with this guy. Like, no, it can't be. It's got to be, let him give you the white person joke.
Because because it will happen.
Let him tell you what he does. Let him tell you how many horses he has. Then you can, But he has to give you the ammunition first.
Ride the tension naturally.
Yeah, for sure.
Respond to what's happening instead of trying to
respond. Yeah, listen. You have to be a really good, attentive listener. Sometimes it's not even what that person says; it's how they say it. Right? Like if I talk to, let's say, 2 examples. Okay, there's a couple over here, and I'm like, hey, how long you guys been together? Or like, hey, are you guys together? And the guy's like, yeah, that's my baby girl. I love her so much. Right? That's a confident person. That's a confident answer. I can bet you guys been together at least a year, 2 years, whatever. Right? I asked a couple over here, hey, are you guys together? And she's like, yeah. It's like, you don't even sound confident that you're together, Same response, in grammatically, but one seems unsure. It's not even, it's just the way they said it.
Yeah.
Their body language. Are they touching each other? Whatever. You're perceptive to so many of these things, and that helps you kind of understand what their narrative is. And that's really all crowd work is in my mind, is trying to build a narrative around some situation and finding the jokes within it.
There's your strong perception, though, again.
You have to be, man.
Shining
you
through.
have to be. If you're a comic, you're perceptive. That's just it. That's it. There's.
And you think that's the defining thing?
I think that's one of the underlying qualities that all comedians have, is their tendency to observe certain things, right? Maybe, at the beginning, maybe you're not as perceptive of certain things. Maybe you're not as observant. Maybe you haven't developed that
It's like
skill.
a muscle.
It's exactly what I was going to say. But over time, the more you do it, the more you learn. This is what I should be looking for. Oh, that's, that means this. This is how humans naturally interact, whatever. Over time, the longer you do something, the better you get, the more observant you're going to get, the more perceptive you're going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to know even when to bail on a joke, because that will get the laugh sometimes. When he was trying to do this bit the other day, talking about our bikes, and then some people were just confused, and she's like, do you use bikes? And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, can you not fucking help me out with she broke the fourth wall, and that was funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's staying committed to the moment beyond trying to just make this bike joke work. Yeah, it's so much nicer to be present.
And you know what you did? You let your honest self, your honest emotion show in that moment. And I think as a comic, that's what you're trying to harness 100% of the time. Where it's not even just, oh, this is a bit about something that happened. It's like, no, this is how I feel about something, and I'm going to tell you about it unfiltered. And the more you can tap into that, I find the more people kind of connect with you.
Yeah,
honesty.
for sure. Yeah,
honesty and authenticity. That's it. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Shit. Why are you like this? Because...
Well, it all started when I was 6 years old. And
please, yeah. Do you meditate? Do you meditate? You seem to be clear in yourself.
Yeah, man. I started meditating right when the pandemic had started.
Yes. Good time to start.
Good time to start. Not much else to do. Lots of thoughts going on in your head.
Yes.
But yeah, it was cool to. I was always interested in it. I was one of those people who every 4 months, I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm going to throw my phone in the ocean. I'm going to go shave my head, become a monk, go to the, And eventually I'm like, yeah, okay, this is stuff that you can do to kind of help, become more centered, be more mindful and stuff. So I started meditating, and during the beginning of the pandemic, I try to do it every day. I try to have a routine where I do it in the morning, but some days you don't do it. Some days you have to do it at night. Some days you skip it, whatever. But I think as long as it's a consistent practice, you'll notice the difference in your everyday life. Do you guys do it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed it.
That was beautifully said, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course. I don't know if the listeners know. I don't know if you guys you're fans of this show know what they do before the show, but they do like a offering. It's like kind of like saying grace before the podcast, and they're like, please, to the Almighty Creator, let this podcast be safe and happy, and let it serve our community. Praise Jah. And I was like,
no one's ever shared that with the audience.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
y'all-
wanted to say that.
Yeah, y'all don't know about that. Well, we're gonna have to put today's in now.
Okay.
May this episode be filled with fun, joy, abundance. May everything and everyone spoken of be done so with love. May the contents of this episode go on to serve us and our communities and for the highest purpose of all.
And so it is.
Have a good episode. Thanks for being here, bro.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks. Did you set your alarm?
I did.
Great, thanks. You're very responsible.
I'm trying. Are we recording?
Yeah.
We're good?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yo, do it, because you're gonna see my reaction while I was like so shook. I was like, whoa.
You know what else? You know what
I was
else?
not expecting that at all.
To my credit, they will also see what an ass kicker you are. Because if that was your rendition of what I said, where you took key elements, then they'll also be able to see the DM situation was not as harsh as it felt.
Yo,
I'm
sometimes
just
you
kidding.
gotta embellish some stuff, you know?
You're so funny. And that the reason why I say that is because you are so animated to watch in your thoughts, bro. It's so brilliant. Like, you're an ass kicker. Like, that's so brilliant. Like, the way that you serve it, because it's undeniably true. Like, you take anchors and, like, reshape them. It's such a beautiful thing. I do a similar thing with freestyling, and it's like you can just own a situation and say that it is, and it's undeniably that it is, but the situation always has like more things to it. But it's such a good comedian thing to do. I mean, it's kind of what Dave Chappelle is a master at too, right? He's like, here's one thorough perspective, and you can't touch that because that's true. Like, solid case in your animated delivery of it, and that's just so beautiful. It's such a gift.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever done other forms of entertainment other than stand-up comedy?
I mean, similar to you, I've done like rap before.
Right, let's go, because your title, can you explain it? Embellish on this. Tell us more on this at Raps and Laughs. I love that. When I first saw your handle, I was like, fuck yeah, hip-hop and comedy.
So I've actually been rapping, making hip-hop music since before I started comedy.
Okay.
That was kind of my first, I guess, artistic endeavor. I was like in 4th grade or whatnot. And my neighbor introduced me to Eminem.
Let's go!
Yeah, and and I never thought that, 20 odd years later, I'd be doing a podcast with him. Like, that's dude, my dream came true today.
You're sweet.
Asking me all these questions. I got questions for you, man.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I did want to connect on that though, that you are an Eminem geek as well, and I knew I fucked with you for sure when I saw on your IG, I think it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And you were up having a slice of cake, and you had your Eminem album, and I just resonated with you so hard because I'm like, that's what it would take to make me happy, chilling solo on my birthday too. And I was like, respect, like to enjoy that.
Yeah.
And you had the limited edition one.
Dude, I was amazed at your Eminem knowledge, because it's like, Winnie, did you know how big of an Eminem fan he was? You're like, of course.
When we first met, bro, it was her car. I used to make her listen to me just spit M verses. Like, I'd put on all the M songs that had hard verses.
Bro,
like,
I've never heard of that working. Like, like the fact that you're here is
I didn't
insane,
know he
dude.
was going to be a rapper.
I was a comedian.
That wasn't foreshadowing at all.
I'm the reverse
Well,
of you. I was a
yeah.
comedian first.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, he was
When-
supposed to be funny.
Supposed to be. Wait, so when y'all met, he was a comic?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and we met in an improv troupe.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
we
guys were
joined the
both-
same improv troupe off of Craigslist.
And how long were you in the improv troupe for?
Like a year.
A year. Nice. And then at that point, you hadn't started stand-up yet.
No, I just started stand-up 2 years ago. I actually started stand-up in 2017, and I
Okay.
tried it for like 8 months, and
Yeah.
I gave up.
it scared the shit out of her every time she'd do it.
I couldn't be honest then.
Mm.
And
Why do
then-
you think you couldn't be honest?
because I was young and I thought that I had to be like everything before 30, but now that I'm 35 and I'm not anything that I thought I was going to be at 30, now at 35, I'm very liberated, to be honest, because there's nothing to lose, and I think sharing is nice, and it seems like people are resonating, and I like making people laugh. So if like the honest, sometimes grimy truth is that, then that's what I'm gonna talk about.
Oh yeah, man, that's exactly what we were talking about like fucking 10 minutes ago. It's all about the honesty, yo. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was going through your mind when this guy's rapping "Till I Collapse" a cappella to you in the Civic?
Bro, I
actually thought it was quite impressive.
Really?
Yeah, because I had not. That's hip hop was not my genre growing up.
Is
I
it now?
Like Britney Spears. Yeah, it is now. I would say. Yeah, not like a fanship though. Not like you guys know details. You know so many details.
Dude, talk about details. So for my birthday, I got a record. Like my friends, we give each other like vinyls for our birthday. It's like a tradition.
That's dope as fuck.
It is fun. It is a cool tradition because now I don't have to worry about, oh, what do I get this guy? I just think about what vinyl he doesn't have. Boom, and I get it. It's simple. So my friend got me the Eminem Show extended version, whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's like a collector's piece. And then Ellevan's the only person who messaged me, and he's like, yo, dude, that has like the Rhapsody freestyles on it. I'm like, how do you know? Like, what's on disc F? Like, how do you know? Like, it's insane,
bro.
Man.
Yeah, it's the only thing that I'm like fully unabashedly like, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I should know all the texture to these elements, because I'm also fascinated because I follow like the management, like Shady and stuff like that, and you get like their emails and stuff. So you see, I'm interested on how to keep a brand alive. Like if you think about what just happened, is you just bought a 20-year-old record, or someone just bought that for you.
Yeah.
Like praise to whatever is existence and consciousness that I can create some sort of art that can be sustainable in the marketplace like that. How'd they do that? And then I just look at how they reserve it. They do a blue theme instead of the red, the original Eminem Show red theme. They flipped the colors, you know?
Yeah.
And they added some components. I'm like, what components? And I think about how they get the mastering to that. Like, how they get the ownership of those BT Basement freestyles or the instrumental releases. Like, did they have to pay the producers additionally to release the instrumentals? Probably. It's a different SKU. So I'm just like, I'm always fascinated with shit like that. And then I'm like, oh my God, a real person I know has the thing that I've like studied. And so that was cool.
I can understand why you were excited about it, because you're like, oh fuck, that guy did my thesis on this. This is crazy.
And like you're like, facts. And I was also just thinking like, oh, maybe you threw on this. Can I imagine that maybe you like freestyle sometimes? So I'm like, maybe you were freestyling over the instrumentals.
No.
No?
I have freestyled over instrumentals before, but it wouldn't be the vinyl. I think that's a lot to set up my record player and play the instrumentals. To be honest, my record player is broken, so I haven't even listened to any of the songs on it. But as soon as I fix it, it'll be fun.
That should be all of the friends that get you vinyls. Just skip this year's vinyl and get them a record player.
All of you guys.
Here, guys.
I had the same
I'm gonna
thought.
be sending you this clip.
I had the exact same thought, Winnie, so it will probably manifest.
I hope so.
Congratulations. It started here as a thought.
Thank you. I mean, I promise you, we're thinking that they're going to get me a new record player. What's really going to happen is they're going to get me just a 2-liter kombucha.
Which is also a great
great.
gift.
It's also really good for you.
It's like, you know, $12 bottle some places.
Yeah. You brought up something really interesting just now, both of you. You said manifest. And then earlier, when you were talking about the record, you were talking about whatever creator or energy or whatever's out there. I'm sure you had this conversation on the podcast before, so feel free to skip it if you don't want to. But what are your guys' thoughts? Like, how are you guys consider yourself spiritual or whatever? Like, what's the...
Look at this. I'm God, you're God. It's talking to itself through us. No, you gotta look in the eyes to understand it.
No, can we? No.
This is
I can't have a straight face.
Consciousness is talking to itself through us. So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm atheist now.
Consciousness is talking to itself through us. You're a pod of a manifestation. You're an expression of a version of a human. Spirit having a human experience, and this rendition of consciousness that you've had a collection of ideas about self and ideas about the relevancy to your surrounding environment is basically just one manifestation after another. You're just attracting the next frequency into your life experience. So this somehow was the next logical step for you as a comedian. Like, tremendous, and you're in wonderful company. So it's like there's that relevancy to like why things are happening around you. There's like an element of whatever you focus on, undeniably. Everything down to the color of the clothes you wear to whatever, the music you listen to. They're all like expansion of seeds. So your life is perceived linearly through this one perception of a human that has an ego identity. So we're playing a role in there, and then we're having an infinite experience on other levels at the same time. That's what I believe. That's my idea of consciousness.
That's really dope.
He just rips like that all the time on the pod. He fucking rips.
You know what's funny? Because like I'm trying to like listen and like, you know, have this kind of energy transaction here, and then I'm just noticing you're like this fucking guy.
I see myself when we're editing this. I'm like, Winnie, look less enthused. Jesus.
Yo.
No, I do. You know why? Because I have to concentrate to get the concept sometimes. That's actually what's going on. I have to.
It was a very complex thing what he just explained.
Yeah.
That's not like, yeah, me too. It's not like,
and this happens to me when I hate when I have to go back and listen. You know, I'm like, oh, that didn't really get penetrated at all. I need to go back and listen to it. So I'm trying like, really hard to.
Yeah. It's like you were like read 4 pages of a book and then realize you haven't ingested any of it.
Literally, that's all I do when I read. It's like me constantly going back. It's crazy. I'll have to like put the book down and like reiterate what that page has, and then continue.
Dude,
I
your
think
unabashed honesty for that was beautiful. I want you to answer in 2 seconds, but your commentary on that was so good. If I may be honest on those rips, real quick,
you're
so good.
You guys, like, I mean, I hope that you use the center shot for this one, because just to see what happened, how Ellevan left to go get water or some shit, and then me and Winnie finally get a chance to be like, and then, like, he talks back a lot, and now this guy literally sat down and said, "You'll get your chance in 120 seconds, but for now."
I just wanted to say they're direct downloads. The things that I say are direct downloads. I'm just as surprised at them sometimes. Back to you, Winnie.
It's so funny, man.
Back to you.
In terms of manifestation, I think that people who don't believe in manifestation are like really, they need to see things before they believe it. So I think it's just like it comes down to your belief system, honestly. I think that like whatever you believe is true in this time around, and that's your just like your individual journey. And I don't know much beyond that.
No, you guys are like polar opposites.
Dude, you are nailing so much because it's absolutely true. And people think like finding a sustainable relationship is about finding someone who agrees with everything that you say. Completely the opposite.
Yeah.
You're absolutely insane to find a relationship with someone that disagrees with you, but you can still stay together.
Do you think it's insane? It sounds like
It works.
Yeah, but it sounds like what you're saying is that is the better option.
It is the only option.
The only option.
I think. Because you got to learn from each other.
Learn from each other. Some healthy debate is always good to expand your perspectives on things.
Depandy, we're on different sides of the coin, and we just like walked it through. And we used the podcast to have different discussions.
That was such a divisive, polarizing time too.
Bro,
We're still coming off of it.
it's still.
You mean
lingers.
like we as a society, or we as in you two?
Oh no, we've
we're
found
good.
only strength. It's been fantastic.
I have 100% faith that if you guys were on opposite sides of that conundrum and made it through, like, you guys are unstoppable.
Bless you, brother. Thank you.
you.
There's so many like friendships and family
Oh my God.
relationships that couldn't even make it through that. And you guys, like, those are things that, you know, like,
Yeah.
sometimes you feel like you don't have a choice. You guys had a choice, and you're like, nah, fuck it, I'm riding it through. That's dope.
We felt lucky to be able to fuck someone from the other side because I wouldn't put up with it otherwise. Like
Well, it
I was
helped
like,
with like getting anger processed for sure.
but no, like you just don't put up with things like those relationships that you just said. But no, a lot of people let the relationship part too. But no, we found the privilege in hearing hearing the absolute truth from the other. So we respected that each side had valid points.
Yeah.
So that's something that you don't get from a lot of the extremists that you see in politics. It's people aren't like that. People just choose that when they have no identity or they have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Since we're being unabashedly, perceptively
No,
honest,
there's
it's
always
true,
there's
right?
always a gray area, man. If you don't think that, then you're just being ignorant.
But yeah, me and Winnie found a great way to be like fucking lucky that you're having that perception. I have no idea how you could think that, but I'm going to respect your perception.
And if more people were like that, I think this world would be a lot better place. Of like being like, hey, I don't agree with you, but I still accept you.
Yeah.
You know, that's I think
That's what made us
you know?
stronger. Yeah.
You know what? Our language is coming to a place where we can like start to really have mainstream tools to pinpoint self triggers when they happen. And you know, like there's no reason why someone who cuts you off in traffic should ever make you even a little bit angry.
Yeah, you
Like,
give away
that's-
your power
that's
too
just-
much.
That's just
Give away your
you needing
power.
to process emotion,
Yeah.
and like that should be a
Facts.
clue for you to like go do some work. Maybe you need an ice
Yeah.
bath or some shit, you know?
I love that you used that example because that's exactly what I was thinking in my head when I was like, yeah, man, we should all just get along. I imagined myself in traffic this morning. Some dickhead was just driving like you know, people who drive like just ruthless, you know, like just selfish, but also dangerous. And a little part of me inside got mad because I'm like, yo, you're like literally endangering the other people on the road. But then, you know, give it 2 seconds. I'm like, man, let it go, man. He's gone. He's ahead of you now. You don't need to worry about that guy.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it says your reaction to things says a lot. You're laughing. What was you?
Well, because I was on my bike just yesterday,
Yeah.
and I was going around a guy turning right, and there was a vehicle behind me, but there was, like, on the other side, he would have had to stop in the intersection, this guy that was behind me, because there was a car there. But he honked at me to get out the way, and I was like, why are you doing this? That really scared me. I'm on my bicycle. And then he ended up passing me, and then I went around him, and I was just dinging my bell the whole time around him. So,
Right.
like, I'm one to talk,
Yeah.
you know, but, like,
No, I feel the same way.
very
We all
human.
we all have that urge, you know.
Yeah.
Someone cuts you off, and then they get in front of you, and it's like, all right, yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna flash
Yeah.
my lights at you too.
Yeah.
Asshole.
I
wanna
am
play?
the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if someone's like flashing their lights at you, you're already going faster than you're comfortable with, and they're like, yeah, you know, they're like, oh, they want to be fucking Dominic Toretto. So many times when I see that asshole behind me, I'm like, oh yeah, and I just try to slow down even more just to piss them off, right? And I understand it's not a good behavior or not even a safe behavior, and like obviously I control myself in the moment, but that's what I want to do. I want to be like, oh yeah, fuck you, even, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's so weird that that's our like initial reaction. Like we really need
We're so
to
petty.
watch that shit.
We're
man.
so petty.
Yeah, like it's a waste of our time. It's
Yeah.
a waste of our like adrenaline that like squeaks out of the adrenal glands. You know.
I
And
love that you know
it
the
like shifts
character's
your
name.
focus.
Dominic Toretto.
Yep.
That is the most surface level pop culture knowledge, bro. That's not impressive. If I knew Ludacris's character's name, maybe that's impressive. Do you know Ludacris's character's name? Exactly. See? That would be something where when he's like, no fucking way, you know? But Dominic Toretto, that's like Homer Simpson.
Do you know?
No, I mean, is it from Fast and the Furious?
It's the main character. in
Okay,
Fast
I know
and
I know his
Vin
first
Diesel.
name,
What
but
is
I
it?
didn't know his last name.
What's the actor's name?
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like literally like.
But like if you would
I
have
don't
said
think-
that, I would have been like, I don't know.
All right, yo, thanks, man. I was impressive.
You're
I
welcome.
didn't.
I'm just
I didn't realize.
Gotta give
Also,
yourself more credit, bro.
I'm pretty horrible at pop culture.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of movies?
I like thriller, murder, mystery movies. Yeah.
Watched anything good lately? That
There was a really good one in the genre It's called Knives Out. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
You have seen it?
I think we've seen Knives Out.
Who's in it?
There's, I don't know the actors' names.
Gal Gadot, I think, was in one of the Knives Out.
Who is that?
She's Wonder Woman.
Ooh. Tremendo.
But I know what you're talking about, and they have a series of them.
There's two. The first one I thought was really, really good. The second one's on Netflix still. It's not as good, but it's still like for the concept. I just love that idea of like a whodunit. You know, there's a murder. That's the first scene of the movie. There's a murder, and then now you go through every suspect, their motive, what their time could have been to do it, what the murder weapon was. There's like a detective going asking all these questions, and then at the end they line up all the suspects, and they're like, it probably was you, but it couldn't be because A, and you're fucking sus, but it couldn't be because B, and then process of elimination, deduction plus the twist, and it was the maid. It's like, oh shit, nobody expected the maid. You know? I love that. I love.
Did you watch the
Tiffany?
series on Netflix?
Which one?
Tiffany Haddish.
Yes, and I can't remember what it was, but
It's a murder mystery.
with Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah.
No, I have not seen
there's
it.
2 seasons. The first
my
season
God, it's
is
so
good.
good.
You need to watch
What's it called?
Oh, I don't know.
We will get back to you on this.
Buddy, I'll Google Tiffany Haddish murder mystery.
Yeah,
It's
it's so good.
It sounds like something I'd enjoy.
episodes, and you'd
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
and
the
you,
guy from the
everything you
Detroiters.
literally just described happens.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Who's in the Detroiters? He's in it too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see pop culture. Don't know it.
Yeah, we don't do names.
Would you be? Are you into acting?
I really want to be.
Yeah, you'd be a
I've
great
only-
actor.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I think there's certain things that I definitely need to like learn the fundamentals and work on, but
Respect.
I think the idea of playing a character is cool. Are you into acting, Winnie?
Mm-hmm.
You are, right?
She's
And-
15 feature films deep.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's so
16.
cool. What's that like? What's that like
17.
being on like a feature film like
17.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it.
She went
It's
to
fun.
AMDA.
I love how the machine works to get it done. I
that? The
love
machine
working
meaning
it.
like the crew of hundreds of
Yes.
people
Yeah.
all doing their own part to get
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. It's
love
really
that.
The teamwork.
I love the even though I find them hard, but like specifics of film where it's like you have marks, you have to get there,
Yeah.
and you have to make it look like it's not. You're not getting to a certain place.
So marks are like specific parts on the set.
Yeah, you have
Yeah. There's like an X. Yeah. And in my one experience actually being on a set and doing some acting stuff, there was a mark, and we had a conversation. But what you don't realize is the way they have you do the conversation on camera is so unnatural compared to what you would do in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
of
you have to
course.
turn your face
Yeah.
this way.
I'm
and-
literally having a conversation with a dude like this.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to pretend like
That's natural.
nobody talks like that. It's like, I was like, oh, this is so weird.
And
But
you have to. You
but
just got to make
yeah.
it look natural.
Yeah, because the way they have to like frame the cameras and like, it's
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
It is. It's cool work, and I
Yeah.
enjoy it. And I like scripts, and I like reading scripts,
Yeah.
and I like memorizing lines, and I like the whole process of it.
Yeah.
I like all of it. I really,
When he's a good actor.
really enjoy it.
That's
She
dope.
takes like feedback from directors super well and like implements it immediately.
Yeah.
She's a technically refined actor, which is impressive to see because you got to put those hours in.
Yeah. So then here's the thing. So how long have you been acting for?
8 years.
8 years. So you started acting before you started any comedy.
What? You went to college for
26 was my first feature film.
Okay, she counts it when she books her first feature film. You know how many actors haven't booked a feature film
now.
yet?
9 years.
9 years.
Does it mean that they're not acting?
Long time relative to how long you've been doing comedy, right?
Yeah.
And I
There you
think that's a difficult transition because your entire acting career you're learning how to be somebody else. Whereas in comedy you're learning how to be yourself on stage.
Bars.
That I know it's something that I've seen and I've heard other people talk about, and even in my like if I ever do transition or try to like do acting on the side, I imagine it's gonna be like difficult to get out of the comedy mindset of like, hey, I'm just me, I'm doing myself, I'm goofy, whatever. It's like, no, you need to be this person now.
You could be a really
Yeah.
good character actor though in the way that you kind of get hired, like like Nick Swartzen is always kind of that energy.
I could get typecast for sure.
You
yeah.
could, but that's hey man, that's a payday,
I wouldn't
homie.
mind,
That's a
like-
payday, homie.
Yeah.
If you get one of those like Adam Sandler friends,
Yo.
and you become
Yeah.
a character
Yeah,
that
yeah,
comes
yeah.
in with the bangers,
Yeah.
because you got delivery timing, dude. So that
man.
makes a lot of sense that you did music first because like you had the rhythm pattern already kind of embedded. So that's special when it comes to the sport of comedy.
Yeah.
You have a leg
Sport of
up.
comedy is a good way to
And
put it.
comedy acting,
Yeah.
like as well, because you're just like bing, bang, boom, goodbye.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
That's dope.
Well, I'd love to see
If
it.
stand-up isn't recognized as an art form, it should be recognized as a sport.
We need a league, man.
Yo.
I'm coming for the top spot, homie.
Did you do battles?
Roast battles?
Yeah.
I still do roast battles.
How was that?
Dude, roast battles are fun.
You'd be good at roast battles.
I think
You are good. I
I'm
gotta see one of these.
I'm doing pretty good in the league. If I'm
Good, man. So what's that like? You're freestyling or you have those pre-written or?
No, they give you time to prep some stuff.
Okay.
Based on the person that you're going to be battling.
You know your opponent.
You know your opponent ahead of time, and you have time to prepare like 5
Okay.
jokes or whatever the situation calls for.
We saw some funny stuff on your Instagram with one of our last guests,
Who's your last guest?
Norm.
Oh fuck, man. Norm is so funny, bro.
Did you guys go at each other?
I tried. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really wanted to go for his Achilles. You know, like I was going for the jugular. Like I wanted to destroy him. I spent 2 weeks just going hard, and I'm like, I know exactly what he's gonna come at me with. I want to have responses ready. I want to, I want to really have a good performance here. And I gave it my absolute best. And then he goes up and just puts me in the ground. Oh my God, I was so mad. I was so mad because I knew exactly what jokes he was gonna do. I've seen him do them before. They're part of his act, and he's done a roast versus India before. We were doing India versus the Philippines, and I knew exactly which ones. And I had 2 weeks, and I was like, what am I gonna say when he says this? And I literally just couldn't think of anything that beat it. And then he goes up after me. I thought I did really well. And then he goes up after me. I've never felt the ground of a comedy club shake before, but that's how hard he was murdering. Like I could feel the foundation. There was an earthquake happening, and I'm like, oh no, no, I hate you, Norm.
So good.
Yeah, no, he's so funny, man. I love Big Norm.
Healthy athleticism.
That's it, man. And
Yeah.
like when you said sport, I think that's definitely kind of what we were alluding to. Like in your mind, you definitely gotta view it. At least I do. Like I draw the basketball analogy all the time, where I'm like, okay, are you getting up 1,000 jumpers a day? The analogy of that is, are you doing a set, 2 sets every day, as much as you can, whatever the thing is. Like I have a quota of I want to get on stage between this and this many times per week, and if I'm not, then I'm not doing my job to become a better athlete, I guess, in this analogy.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just that competitiveness to really try
Perform.
to perform
Increase.
and expand your capabilities, expand your abilities to the point where you become so undeniable that there is no choice but to move up in this industry and this,
Consciousness loves you for that expansion, bro.
We'll tell consciousness I love it too.
You just did.
Aw.
You are it.
Dude, I
Do you
get
have
it. I get it. I get
spiritual voice? I know, he's a charmer.
Oh my God. We should switch. I'm gonna fuck with it.
You got soft, sweet lips, bro.
Oh my.
All right, this is getting wild. Appreciate you, man.
No worries, bro.
When's your birthday?
November 10th.
Hey, what?
Do your astrology on me, bro.
10/11.
Is that Virgo?
I'm a Scorpio.
Scorpio.
I'm a. Is that Scorpio moon? I am. So you got that fire.
Got that?
Fire.
Are you also a Scorpio?
I'm a Capricorn, but
You're
the
a Capricorn.
personality side that the West uses.
Yeah, no, I had someone explain this to me recently. I was like, man, how did you take something so abstract and make it even more convoluted, man? Like,
The ascending sign.
all of that shit.
The
I was
sun
like,
sign and the moon
man, no, I'm done.
You don't follow this stuff?
No, not at all. And then when I had I was out and I had I was having dinner with one of my friends, and then she brought her sister, and the sister was just there explaining this stuff, and I'm like, this is too much, yo. You can't complain about being single, yo. You just gotta stop having these conversations.
I'll admit that I'm like pretty surface level with it, but I'm there with it. I have a tarot guy that I listen to on YouTube, and I'm like, he's my guide sometimes.
Yeah.
you
I'm
know?
over here like, bro, everything you just said is so Scorpio.
Yeah, I know. Good guy.
Because you're fiery.
So you do the tarot cards.
Yeah.
Do you find benefit in that?
Yes.
Yeah. Does it tell you why certain things might be happening in your life, or what kind of direction to moving forward? Is that the reason?
No, it kind of validates, like your current situation and then what the energies might be moving forward that you could work with in order to, you know, get closer to a desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. But then you have that desire in mind.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone has, I don't know anyone that's not working on something,
Yeah.
like whether it be relationships or career or finance or, you know, physical health. You know, we all have
Yeah.
kind of something that we're kind of up against, I think.
Have either of you read the book The Alchemist?
Yes.
And I think the main takeaway from that book is kind of exactly what you're saying. And like, I feel like you kind of touched upon it earlier, where when you have something that's like your focus completely and like that's all you want with your entire soul, the universe will conspire to make that happen for you. Same thing. Like if I set my mind towards, like you said, whatever that goal is, relationship, career, whatever, health, you're going to start seeing things in your environment, in your everyday life that kind of reinforce that idea. Or like maybe an opportunity comes. Maybe you get an email, hey, want to do this show next week? Oh, it's like, oh, fuck, like all of this stuff is happening because I said it, like I wanted it. I put it out there.
Yes.
And only when you put it out there and you're open to receiving is when that stuff kind of comes back around.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I can be spiritual too, guys.
So how do you receive?
right.
That's beautiful.
That's
I know. I feel it. All the jokes about it. I know it's just because I'm poking around or something. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But you obviously are moving towards your desires or goals or dreams, as we all are, as our life unfolds.
Yeah.
How do you receive guidance in between those reflections? Because as you were saying, you put it out, you get the email, you do the show, you meet someone, they book you.
it
keeps
snowballs.
moving.
Yeah.
How do you tune into a guidance about that? Or
When you say guidance, are you talking from like a
she
person?
says tarot, I say, you know what I mean? Like there's different like forms of practice that you kind of receive guidance, you know, or you can meditate and just listen to your intuition. Like a guidance would be an alarm. That's a time guide.
That's a time guide.
We have to wrap it up.
Yeah, we got 7 minutes. That's fine. We
Okay,
can
great.
finish this conversation. You're talking about, okay, the guidance can come in many forms.
Yeah, or do you just go with the flow and just see what unfolds and respond to it?
How do you hold faith?
There you go. Towards your dreams. As you're pursuing life, what gives you hope? Or what are you listening to? Do you have a vision that you're moving towards? Kind of thing.
It's, especially in, I think, the field of comedy, it gets tough because comedy will build you up and then break you down. Like, it's so...
In
like,
the same night.
In the same night, literally. Literally, you can go from being on a roller coaster of like, I'm the best person, fuck Dave Chappelle, like, you know what I mean? Like, let me teach him something, you know? Like, and then just immediately next set being like, oh, I don't know anything about this art form. And I think, I don't know if it's just come from experience, come from talking to older comedians who I admire and respect and want to be like and learn from. I don't know if it's from watching interviews of people that I look up to, reading self-help books, whatever it is, but you accumulate certain kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, anchors that you can come back to, right? So in that moment where you have a night where you do really, really well, and then your next set goes really, really bad, and now you got to go home and you're like, fuck, you know, like you're in a deflated mood. You got to remind yourself that in comedy, but also life as a whole, of course there's ups and downs, right? But as long as you can zoom out and look back and say, oh, look at where I am compared to where I was last year or 2 years ago or 5 years ago or whenever, you know, you decided to embark upon this journey. Like 4 years ago, I wasn't even getting up 2 times in a night, you know? I wasn't even doing this type of stage. I was, you know, like... I think as long as you can zoom out and say, I'm still on the right path and I'm moving forward and I'm doing something entirely with my own volition and 100% with my heart, that you can have faith in that you're going to end up where you need to be.
So you know that. You have confidence in that for yourself.
You found your purpose.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Beautiful.
Like before I started doing comedy, or like at the time I started doing comedy, I was in school. I was actually doing pre-med.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. This is like the most typical Indian guy story. Yeah.
Bro.
Whoa.
And like a completely different path, right? But I realized at a certain point after I had started doing comedy, and then there was a point where I had to like apply for med schools and like decide, like really make that choice of like, what are you gonna do? And there was a moment where I was like, nah, I'm gonna do this. And realistically, like when I think about my energy, I feel like I'm really at peace with that decision. I don't have any like regret. I don't wake up in the morning like, man, I should have gone to school. I fucking regret it. No, every day I wake up, I'm like, this was a good decision.
You're on a good timeline.
Yeah, I'm on the right path for me. It feels like I'm in line with it. The energies around me, everything kind of conspires to like help build up that idea and like kind of push me forward. And I have absolutely no regrets to this point about that decision.
Yes, we love that.
Yeah.
You follow your heart. You
No
build a
regret.
path,
No regrets.
Hershawn Arora. This has been awesome.
Congratulations.
We can leave it there, I think.
I think that's
so
a cool
beautiful.
place
That was
to end.
beautiful,
Yeah.
Tim.
That's a cool place
Thank
to
you for
end.
blessing
Yeah.
us.
Thank you for having me, man. This was so much fun. You guys really run a cool thing here, and
Run tight ship around here.
You do run a tight ship around here, and you know what? If you guys are down, I'll come back after my set. We could no.
Absolutely. Well, I was gonna ask. Do you want to? We're gonna turn
We'll
this
be
into an
fried.
after hours. We have 2 more guests
We'll
coming.
be so baked.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how you guys are gonna do 2 more podcasts after this. I just watched him smoke 7 grams to his face. What the fuck? The blunt
Do you
is still
smoke?
I used to when I was younger, like
Yeah.
in high school, university. I smoked a lot, but as of recently, I've kind of cut down. Also, if I'm running straight to a show, I probably don't want to get high.
Yeah.
Word, respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do maybe not tonight, but we'll do another episode to catch up and see your unfurling journey.
Ooh, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do it, man.
Bless,
Yeah,
bro.
progress.
Thank you, Winnie. This was dope.
Yo,
Thank you.
bless,
A lot of
brother.
fun.
Where
This
can
was
people
dope.
find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Raps and Laughs. Here, let me plug this shirt. Yeah, there you go.
We'll put that in the description below.
Yeah, at Raps and Laughs. I got my music on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. You can just look up my name, Hershawn Arora. All the stuff's there. And then I run a show. Is it okay if I plug my show?
Please.
I run a show every month or so in Toronto. It's at Free Times Cafe. Next one is March 15th. If you want, just come to my Instagram. Tickets are in my bio. And it's a really fun time.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Very
We
funny.
did it, yo.
Go check them out. Give them a follow. Subscribe to this channel. Screen record a bit of it and post it on your Instagram and tag all of us. I'll fucking throw it on the story.
Tag it.
I don't know about you guys. You can make reels out of this if you like. If you want to do that work for us.
Thank you so much.
Blessings. Thanks
Share
for
with
watching.
your friends or whatever.
See you guys
I don't
soon.
care. Love you.
Okay.
Peace
Bye.
and love, guys.
Yes.
Dude, that was sick.
That was so good.
That was a great
You ever see something so true that you couldn't unsee it? Something that you just knew would serve you. Whether it be self-awareness, plant medicine, a lover, a career. That's what we get down to here. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness. Spark up or don't, and enjoy the show. Glad you're here.